So Arne Slot's going to have to do some rebuilding. Either
Yeah.
way, either way, he's going to have to do some serious rebuilding there, wouldn't he?
Mm.
Now, Marcus Rashford. I know we think we've dealt with it, but it's like a bad penny, isn't it? Marcus Rashford. He's turning up. Right,
Yeah, he
so
comes back, doesn't he?
he
Yeah.
does. He's always coming back, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we know he's got his place in the England team
Yeah.
now. However, he did score 2 goals in his last appearance for Aston Villa. Now, there's still something that's lingering because Aston Villa wants to send him back to Manchester United. Manchester United don't want him. What do you think is going to happen? How are they going to
Well,
deal?
yeah. Do Villa really want to send him back? Is that the latest situation then? Have they
Yeah,
said that?
they have said
Why? Because I mean, he scored a goal last night, didn't he? When they won last night again, and I think at the weekend he also scored. So
yeah,
why would they be wanting to send him back?
yeah,
Perhaps his wages, or perhaps they're too expensive. I mean, he obviously earns a lot of money, and maybe they just can't afford it, or they don't want him to upset their salary structure with other players. But
yeah,
you can't deny the fact that he seems to have been a bit reawakened, both in terms of his own motivation
yeah.
and his some of his old ability. Because I mean, I've not really liked the way he carried on at Man United. This last season, I think he was disrespectful to them and to his colleagues. But he's undoubtedly a very good footballer, always was. And
Yeah.
maybe he's recaptured some of his form. Excuse me. But I
I mean,
don't really understand, except for the monetary side, the wages. That could be why they want him to go back. But I can also understand Manchester United not really wanting him back because he left a bit of a sour taste there with the fans and the club, didn't he?
it did. It did. Yeah. I'm gathering. I gathered that it was because of the money. Obviously, it was too expensive to
Yeah,
keep him.
yeah,
I think that's why they want him back. They want to send him back. But obviously, he's turned around the team. I mean, okay, so they used to have John Duran, didn't they? At Aston Villa, and then he went over to is it Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia?
yeah. Yes, he
Anyway,
did.
so he went to Saudi Arabia. They definitely need a replacement, don't they?
Mm,
They need a John Duran replacement. And Rashford seemed to be fitting into that role perfectly well.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so you know, apart from the money, I don't see any other reason why somebody that is obviously making a lot of impact on the overall uh, team is going to be a problem. So I don't know what they're going to do with him. Now another one, another one that seemed to be coming up again is sorry about this. You know, to apologize for this. Another one that seemed to be coming up quite recently is another player that we thought we'd really forgotten about, Jadon Sancho.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
Jadon Sancho at Chelsea. I think Chelsea is beginning to think of sending him back as well. So I think Amorim, he's got a big problem on his hands, hasn't he? What's he going to do with these two players if they have to come back there? He's going to obviously disrupt his formation. Obviously, he doesn't want them back because obviously he's got his formation. Obviously, he doesn't want them back because obviously he's got his eyes on his own sort of
Mm,
players that he would like, and I know one of them is Victor Yokeres. Sporting Lisbon. And they lost last night. Was it last night or was it
Mm.
the night before? Anyway, they lost 1-0 to. Well, they lost to a good team actually. Forest. So we lost 1-0 to Forest. And the irony of that was it was scored by a player that used to play for Manchester United. What's his name? Is it Manuel? No, no. Anyway, but he now plays for Forest. So what do you think? What do you think is the way forward? Because obviously they still haven't got hold of the problem that they're having there. What do you think is the way forward for Manchester United?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've read, I don't think the excuse me, I don't think the players at Manchester United particularly want either of those two players back. I mean, how I say that, what would I know? But you just sort of read, not even between the lines, you see some paper talk or phone talk, I only read it on my phone, that Sancho, I think the feeling was that Sancho just didn't cope with the pressures maybe of being a Manchester United player, because I gather he was a very good footballer. And when I've watched him at Chelsea, you can see that he's got a lot of ability, but somehow when I ever watched him playing for Manchester United, he didn't really demonstrate that. He looked out of his depth, perhaps mentally more than anything else. So I can totally understand Amorim and possibly the club not wanting him back. And with Rashford, as I say, I think there's a bit too much bad blood there now after his behaviour, which, let's face it, was quite heavily criticised by some of the pundits like Roy Keane and I think Gary Neville, people who knew Rashford even from their days there when Rashford was a real youngster.
Yeah.
And I think they felt his behaviour was very inappropriate. So I can't really see how he can go back there. The way forward may be for him to have to lower his wage demands, of course. Maybe Villa would want him, but it must be a problem for some clubs when they've taken on someone who has a salary, a wage structure way above the other players. And of course, whatever they're like as friends, players, people, they will resent, people who've been there, top players, they'll resent someone coming in.